Let's get this one out of the way. While on the Nintendo Switch, players need to pay for the online service, on the Wii U it was completely free. Well yes, to be honest, the price of the Switch Online membership is not that high, but the quality of the online service seems to have stayed the same, with the only difference being that on the Switch you have to pay for it. This is one of the 30 things I think the Wii U did but still does better than the Switch, and there are probably some things among them that you most likely haven't even thought of yet. So, stay tuned. Yo, what's up everyone? I'm Zaidu and I highly welcome you to this video. I just quickly want to point out that these following things are not listed in a specific order, however, I would still recommend you to stay until the end of this video, as the final point is the most important and in my opinion the most underappreciated one. But now, let's continue with number 2. The Switch home menu is disappointing. It's empty, it has no music, it's just our games listed next to each other. Sure, that's kinda what a home menu is for, though I think the Switch menu isn't any interesting or outstanding at all, and the Wii U does this 100 times better. Already when entering the Wii U home menu, you'll be greeted by some nice music and some Miis waving at you, and that alone makes the Wii U menu so much more engaging. On top of that, to me it seems like the Wii U home menu was really made for the players. The Wii U home menu had this thing that it congratulated you on your birthday, and the Miis on the menu were kinda celebrating to a cute birthday song. This is honestly one kind of a feature I'm actually missing on the Switch, as small things like this are what gave the Wii U menu actually a soul and a personality. The Switch menu is not only boring, it can be an actual mess sometimes. By default, the games are always listed in the order in which they were last played, and the only way to sort them is to go to All Software and then decide if they are alphabetical, playtime, or most recent. On the Wii U though, you can sort the games however you want in the start menu itself and even create folders to make it easier to navigate the menu. Yes, both do have folders, however they work differently. While on the Wii U you can create folders right in the start menu and even color them, on the Switch it's not that easy. The Switch doesn't let you create folders, or groups as they're actually called, directly in the home menu, but only in the All Software tab, which is of course better than nothing, but I honestly still prefer the way it was made on the Wii U. One thing the Switch home menu is really missing is music. When booting up the Wii U, you'll be greeted by a catchy and relaxing theme playing in the background. Unfortunately, the Switch lacks all of this. The only music the Switch menu provides is a short sound when booting it up. Besides that, it's completely silent. The same problems that the Switch home menu has also apply to the eShop. On the one hand, the Wii U's interface is much more user-friendly and better, but on the other hand, the Switch eShop once again lacks music. When entering the Wii U eShop, you'll be greeted by some nice pleasant background music to make you actually feel like you're in a shopping mall. The Switch eShop though is completely silent, empty, and boring. Oh my god. Do you all remember Miiverse? Miiverse was sorta like a social media platform on the 3DS and Wii U, which made it possible to interact more with other players of the Nintendo community by posting and sharing your gaming achievements. On the Wii U, some of these posts even appeared in the home menu, which was a really nice way to feel more connected to the Nintendo community. Unfortunately though, Miiverse was discontinued in 2017, half a year after the Switch's release, which actually made me hope for a re-release on the Switch, but that never happened. Same applies to the Wii U Chat, which was also discontinued in 2017. The Wii U Chat was a program similar to Skype. You could chat with your Wii U friends using the gamepad's built-in camera. Unfortunately, the Switch itself doesn't have such a program, which is why many Switch players switched to Discord. The only thing similar to Wii U Chat is the Switch Online app, which also provides voice chat, but why did they have to make a separate app for that? As I already touched on a little bit, the Wii U gamepad has a front-facing camera built in it. On the one hand, it was quite useful for the voice chat feature I've just talked about, and then on the other hand... Oh god. Remember when you could create a Mii from a photo? Oh well, let's not talk about it. And besides that, even some games supported the Wii U camera, which to be honest wasn't really a major aspect, but it was still a nice small gimmick. Yes, Miis do exist on the Switch, and they have been even updated by adding new hair colors for example, but still, while some games even still support them, I think it's a little disappointing to see that they're no longer as prominent on the Switch, and Nintendo even tries to find an alternative version to replace them. This one is another really obvious one. While nearly everyone knows at least one person complaining that their Switch Joy-Cons start drifting after a certain amount of time, on the Wii U, this problem doesn't seem to exist. And yes, you can send your Joy-Cons to Nintendo for repairs for free, but either way it's still annoying as heck, and we can only hope that Nintendo fixes this issue on the Switch too. The input lag on the Switch was horrible, especially when playing on the TV. There's often a small delay between pressing a button, be it on the Pro Controller or a Joy-Con, and the character's reaction. This can already make the gaming experience a lot more tedious, and at least I haven't heard anyone complain about it on the Wii U yet. That one may be a less obvious one, but I honestly prefer the charging dock of the Wii U gamepad over the Switch one. The thing that has always bothered me on the Switch dock is how freaking big it is. There have been countless times where I've wanted to take my Switch to a friend's house to play on their TV, but the size of it makes that basically impossible. I never understood why Nintendo didn't provide a smaller Switch dock similar to the Wii U one, considering that the Switch is supposed to be a portable console. That's why I personally use an alternative version of the Switch dock, which makes it a lot easier to carry. If you want to know more about it, I'll link a video for you in the description. But honestly, that's not even the only problem with the Switch dock, as it can even damage the gamepad by scratching its screen. Since the Switch was released, there have been a few reports by players complaining that their screen got damaged while pulling the gamepad off the dock. That's also why I personally prefer the alternative version of the Switch dock, as it basically can't damage my console. While the Switch also offers a large selection of games for any gamer, a big advantage of the Wii U is that you can also play Wii games on it without having to rebuy them. And yes, it makes sense for the Wii U to have this feature and for the Switch not to, as the Switch does work with cartridges instead of discs, but it's honestly still a little unfortunate and also leads me to the next point. The Virtual Console was among the biggest features of the Wii U. On it, you could replay many old Nintendo classics again or experience them for the first time, whether it be NES, SNES, N64, GBA, DS, or Wii games. On the Wii U, you had a huge library of games you could choose from. In comparison, you can only play NES and SNES games on the Switch, but only if you pay for the online service. And for GBA and N64 games, you even need the Expansion Pass membership. Not only you can play games from previous consoles for free on the Wii U, but the original games are also a lot cheaper than the Switch ports. If you compare the prices of the original Wii U games to the ported Switch versions, you'll notice that the Wii U versions often cost half as much as the Switch ones, despite them being the identical games with maybe a better quality and an added baby mode on the Switch. Despite the Wii U being the sequel console to the Wii, there have been very few HD ports of Wii games or older Nintendo titles on it. But instead, as already mentioned, you could play your entire Wii library on the Wii U with no additional cost. On the Switch though, this was different, because if you look at the games that came out together with the Switch in 2017, you may notice that the biggest launch games on the Switch were also playable on the Wii U. And on top of that, nowadays there are barely any Wii U games that have not received a deluxe version on the Nintendo Switch. This already leads me to the next point. The Switch literally doesn't have an original Mario Kart game. While last year Nintendo finally made both an original Zelda and 2D Mario game for the Switch, and it even got an original Smash Bros, Metroid, Kirby, Pikmin, and many more games I probably forgot about, it still doesn't have an original Mario Kart game. And same applies for Donkey Kong. The Switch still doesn't have an original Donkey Kong game. So we still have to get along with the ported Wii U versions, while they are still amazing games of course, don't get me wrong. The following points are some minor ones that are still worth mentioning though. While on the Switch you can only choose between the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller, on the Wii U you have a larger selection of controllers to choose from. On the one hand, you can of course choose the Wii U gamepad to play, as well as the Wii U Pro Controller, but on the other hand, you can as well choose the controllers of the Wii, being the Wii Remote and the nunchucks. One thing the Switch Joy-Cons unfortunately lack is an actual D-pad. The only way Switch owners can have a D-pad is by purchasing a Pro Controller. I mean, yes, the Switch Lite does have a D-pad, but seriously, that one really is no alternative. The Wii U gamepad, however, does have a D-pad, as well as all the other Wii and Wii U controllers. Unlike the Switch, the Wii U gamepad included a plastic touch pen that slid inside the unit. To be honest, I never understood why the Switch didn't include one, since even the DS and 3DS had one, even though they were also portable devices like the Switch. Yes, you can now buy a stylus separately from the Switch, but I don't understand why the Switch itself didn't come with one at all. Yes, the Switch's gamepad is made to be portable, while the Wii U gamepad isn't, and due to that, it's a lot smaller and thinner than the Wii U's gamepad. That's also probably why the buttons on the Switch Joy-Cons are smaller than the buttons on the Wii U gamepad. However, I personally prefer the larger buttons on the Wii U gamepad as they feel more spaced out and in general more comfortable. At least from what I know, the only ways to turn the Switch off are on the home menu and on the Switch gamepad itself. However, on the Wii U, there are many more ways to turn it off that are also more comfortable and simpler, as nearly all controllers, the gamepad, the Wii remotes and the Pro controller had a power button on them. Personally, I would have wished that at least the Switch Pro controller would have had a power button on it too. It had Nintendo Land. Yes, that's the point. Nintendo Land is amazing. Since the Wii U gamepad actually can be used as an alternative controller, in some games it also functions as a fifth player. Mario Bros. U on the Wii U, for example, had the so-called Boost mode, where 5 people could play together and one of them had the gamepad and he could place platforms in the game in order to either help or hinder the other players. In the deluxe version on the Switch though, this feature of course got removed. Besides that though, some other Wii U games also supported 5 players, such as Mario Party 10 and, who guessed it, Nintendo Land! The Wii U's internet browser was amazing. Especially in combination with the gamepad, it was really easy to use and had a lot of nice and useful features, like hiding the screen on TV to not show anything private. Instead of the internet browser though, the Switch only has apps for certain sites, such as YouTube and Twitch. I honestly don't know why the Switch doesn't provide a built-in internet browser, as most Nintendo predecessor consoles actually had one. Alright guys, now let's get to the, in my opinion, biggest and most underrated advantage of the Wii U. The dual screen. Since on the Wii U, you could simultaneously play on the TV and the gamepad itself actually functioned as a second screen, which brought some awesome benefits and made a lot of Wii U games actually profit from its existence. Just as a quick example, in Mario 3D World, some stages required the gamepad to proceed, and as the Switch doesn't support dual screen, Nintendo found the most awkward and inconvenient ways around this in the Switch version. And this is by far not the only example. I have dedicated a separate video to this topic, so if you'd like to see more examples of the benefits of the Wii U dual screen, feel free to check that one out. So, there you have it. 30 things the Wii U did better than the Switch. Thanks for watching and see you the next time. Bye bye!